first off, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on this webinar. We have Bobby Bradley. He is the North American Sales Manager for URC. He's been going to go over MX HomePro today with us. If you can, please keep your mics muted. If you guys do have any questions or anything, type them out in the chat box. We'll make sure that we get them to Bobby. So, Bobby, you have the floor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby Bradley. I'm with URC. I've been working with them directly at the factory for almost 3 years now. Before that, I was a rep and a distributor for them. So I've been selling URC for probably 10 or more years. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We're going to be talking about MX HomePro. We've introduced MX HomePro a couple of years ago, but what we've done in the past 6 months is we've added a lot of features and a new remote, and just added some really cool things that have really turned this line into what I think is absolutely the best smart home system under $1,000 in the industry. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but first, I just want to let you know a little bit about URC and who we are. We're a leading supplier of smart home technology. We've been selling remote controls and being tied into automation in the CEDIA channel for over 25 years. We have millions of residential and commercial installations right now working with our product. We're widely respected for our design and our performance. Our owner of our company, CEDIA, last year won a Lifetime Achievement Award because he pretty much invented the remote control as it's used in the CEDIA channel today. And for that ceremony, we tried to count how many remote controls he had sold in the past 10 years. It's over 100 million remote controls. Now that's important because it'll explain why we're able to do things that no one else can do in this industry, because we have all of our own engineering and we own all of our own factories. So to begin with, URC only sells to the professional audio integrator. Someone out there has got their mic on. If you could mute yourself, it'll be better for us. So URC does not sell direct to the consumer. Only URC dealers are allowed access to software and other programming resources. We do not have an Amazon site. We do not market to the end user. A homeowner cannot purchase a program remotes on his own. If a homeowner buys a URC product off the internet, what he's going to get is a box that has maybe a remote in it, no instructions, no owner's manual, no program. It's just, that's the way it comes. And I'll get a call about once a month from someone who's done that, and they're trying to get the software. And we just tell them that I can't give you the software, but I'll certainly give you a list of dealers in your area that can program that for you. All the training classes, all the software, all the support that you can get, it comes through URC portal. Now, some of you guys may be a member of our control room now, but we're moving everything, all these resources to URC portal. And so you guys need, anyone who is involved with URC at all should have a URC portal account, so you have access to all of these cool things that we offer our dealers. So it's very simple. Your salespeople are going to have this PowerPoint, so they'll be able to help you if you need help signing up to portal. But when you go in, you'll just go to urcportal.com. You would choose indirect dealer and fill out a form. But what's important about this is just letting you know that we actually physically look at every application into the portal to make sure that only dealers have access to this. So you'll be asked at some point to upload a picture of your business license or W-9, anything that proves that you're a dealer. And then the other thing that's important is to know is that in order to become an MX HomePro dealer, you have to become registered to our dealer site. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but this is really important because the software is actually in the cloud. And you just set up a dealer account, and all the resources that you need for MX HomePro are going to be here. What's important about these two websites here is this is how we make sure that the homeowners are not able to purchase, program, or any of our products. We are everything that we do is designed to help you make money and to help you as the professional be able to go in and do these projects. So what is MX HomePro? Well, URC designed MX HomePro to address the needs of today's customer. Now, we have owned this under $1,000 market in remote controls for about 20 years. So what we needed is we wanted a system that would fit into that price range, so it would be very affordable, but we wanted to help customers move into the two-way multi-room smart home system and make it easy for them. It requires no special programming knowledge. This is without a doubt the easiest programming that we've ever come up with at URC. It's incredibly easy, and that's one of the reasons that we protect the software, because pretty much anyone could learn to program this. So MX HomePro offers simple and advanced solutions for single rooms or for the whole house. But to begin with, if you want to, you can program in just a couple of minutes and do very, very basic programming. But that's not what we are all about. What we want to do is we want to give you the ability to do very easily advanced programming so that you're able to do all the cool things that you've been able to do with CCP in the past. You can create power and device macros. You can actually do logic. You can use states and variables. So the ability to be able to do pretty much anything you want to, but to be able to do it very easily and very simply is a huge success for us, because we've been able to move these customers right into the smart home world very, very easily. In addition to that, you get favorite channels. You get over 50 favorite channels that comes with MX HomePro, and the homeowner can actually decide which favorite channels he wants. He can actually move them around and move stations to the top, take them out. And what's really cool about this, when you highlight the favorite channels, it'll tell you what's actually playing on that channel. So you can surf all the channels without driving your family crazy. Once you pick out what you want to do, you just click on that channel and it goes directly to it. So what that means is now we've come with the additions that we've added and with the new flagship remote that we've added, what we have now is absolutely the best smart home system under $1,000. Now, if I'm going to make a statement like that, I've got to be able to prove it. And that's what I'm going to do for you, but I'm also going to show you how you can do that with your customers. So when you're looking at this pricing right here, this is retail pricing, $300, $600, and $750. So that's retail without programming. The reason that you can start off with a system at $300 retail is that we give you free unlimited iOS and Android mobile apps with the hub. Now, you can expand it up to 8 rooms now of whole house automation. And you can add, because you can add the Z-Wave module to any of these systems for $250 retail, that gives you not only the ability to control AV and smart home devices, but over 2,000 Z-Wave devices. And it starts at $300. So with MX HomePro, we absolutely have the best smart home system under $1,000. To begin with, we have best-in-class handheld remotes. No one has the ability to create the remotes and do what we can, because our remotes are Wi-Fi. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few moments, but no one can touch our remotes. And I'll be able to show you how to show the homeowner that if they're looking at anything else, it's inferior to the product that you're showing them. Then we also have an MXHomepro.com dealer site that sets us apart. It's for professionals only. You can actually manage all your projects there. It's where, not only where your software is, but every job that you do will be listed there. So if you have something, if you need to go back in 2 years later, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but it's very, very cool that you can do this. And it allows you to even make changes and program from your office. We have an app launcher. That sets us apart. For every other control line out there, if you want to let's talk about Sonos to explain this. If our Sonos module that we make is never going to be as good as the factory Sonos module, the one from Sonos. They won't allow it. Pretty much our module looks like all of our competitions. We all are able to do about the same thing. Of course, we think ours is a little better, but it's still never going to measure up. So a homeowner would like to use the Sonos. If he's in a music zone, he would probably prefer to use the Sonos app. With all of our competition, what you have to do is you actually have to go in, open up your app, do your control, then close that app, open the Sonos app, control the Sonos. If you need to go back to your control app, you've got to close the Sonos app. It's very tedious. We have learned how to do that. We've created a way that you can actually open up any app inside of our app. And I'll show you a little bit more about that. Now, we sell only to professionals, so we make sure that you make great margins. There's a lot of products being sold out there that are directed toward the homeowner, and because the homeowner can buy those products or something that looks exactly like it, it's hard to make more than about 15 or 20 points on those products. We make sure that we protect your margins. The program is cloud-based, it's simple to program, easy to operate, and you can do off-site programming and control of it after your initial download to the system. We have whole house control, so you can control the entire house. I'm going to show you how your app is actually your whole house network. So we have Z-Wave. You can add to open up unlimited automation opportunities. And then we give you the ability to train your way in person with a live webinar or self-paced on URC portal. So to begin with, I want you to think about MX HomePro as a control for your AV gear, and you control either IR or IP. In addition to that, you're able to control and get two-way feedback on smart home devices. For entertainment now, we have two-way modules for Sonos, Hios, and Bose. For our lighting systems, we do Philips Hue, Lutron Radio Raw, Lutron Caseta, and if you're going to do Lutron Select, then you would use the Caseta module. For climate and control, we have the Nest, Honeywell, and Ecobee modules. And then if you want to go and need security two-way, you add our Z-Wave, and the Z-Wave allows you to see cameras, and it allows you to add two-way security to the system. Now remember this, because what I said about the fact that we don't have to make modules for iOS or Android, we actually use the factory modules. So for these are just for the remote. So like I said, you can also add our Z-Wave gateway. That will allow you to control thousands of devices. It's a very tight, great system, and we've had it since really day one. Then you add this ability to actually go and add Alexa to everything. So we have voice control of even the smallest system, the $300 system that we talked about, all the way up to the flagship at $750. You have Alexa-enabled devices. You can, and it's done really, the commands are turn on and turn off is how it's done. And you're going to be amazed at how easy it is to integrate Alexa. It's a step-by-step process. It's very, very simple. We've had this now for well over a year, and the dealers are just really brag about how easy it is and how great it works. Probably in the next update that we have in 30 days, we're going to be adding Google Home also for anybody that's interested in that. So let's talk about our remote controls and what sets us apart, okay? This is our new flagship remote. It was released last year. It's a two-way Wi-Fi remote. It's quick connect. There's no direct IR. You get a charging cradle with it. It has a fully backlit keypad, rechargeable battery. You get your Grace Note favorite channels show up on the screen. In addition to that, you can view cameras from Z-Wave supported devices, and it supports the two-way modules. The secondary remote we have, the 500, is the one that was released first, is basically the same remote. It just does not have the charging cradle. You actually charge with a mini USB. And the primary buttons at the bottom are not backlit. So if you're needing a remote in a dark room like a theater or whatever, this would not be the remote you'd want to use. But it also supports two-way modules, and the screen looks is the same size really as the 700 I just showed you. So remember, we have these free two-way modules for today's devices, and these are the models that we have. The modules that we have. Whoops.
Love y'all. All right.
Love you too. So then, as we come in on remote controls, we'll talk about the demo mode. This is very, very important because what it does is it allows you, this is a great selling tool. So you can take our remotes, push 7 and previous channel, and it will go into demo mode. This is a great tool for you to take with you to your homeowner to show them the difference in your system, okay? So when you carry this in, you can show them, it actually shows you the entertainment menu, Sonos, lighting, Nest, cameras, and door locks. What I would do is, the first thing I would do is I would scroll down to Sonos, and then I would push the Sonos button. And whenever you push Sonos, what you're going to see is a demo of what the app will look like on your remote. What you're going to see is artwork. Okay, if you're looking at any of our competitors, if you're looking at Harmony, they're Bluetooth, you would just be looking at text. You want to talk Control 4, they are Zigbee. You would only be looking at text. Pro Control, Zigbee, you're only going to be looking at text. No one can do what these remotes can do, none of our competitors, for the price. To have a two-way Wi-Fi remote, and to really drive that point home to your homeowner and to prove to him that any competitor he's looking at is inferior to the technology, scroll down on this demo, push the camera button, have the demo of the cameras pop up, and then once again you can say, no one else in the industry can do this in this price range. You're looking at a minimum of a $2,000 system to move up to that. No one can touch that. And it's really, really important because this is a fantastic sales tool for you. So you've got your Wi-Fi remotes. So let's talk about the hub. The hub is the brains of the outfit. It's the whole brains of the operation here is how everything is processed. With our CCP line, you are actually downloading to the remotes. And MX HomePro, you're downloading to the hub from the cloud. It's very, very small. It's network connected. It takes commands from your app. What you would do is, whenever you first program this, you actually would hardwire it to begin with because you'll need to download. Once you do your first download to the hub so that the Wi-Fi information goes into it, you can actually unplug it and it's Wi-Fi. You can hang it behind the TV, and the Wi-Fi is very, very strong. At my house, I'm using a hub like this in an upstairs guest room, and there's never been one time that it hasn't worked perfectly for me every time I pick it up and use it there. You only need one hub to get started. Now, you can actually add 24 hubs on a system because you have 3 hubs per room and then up to 8 rooms in the house. So you can, what's neat about this is for a lot of products out there, they have an entry-level system, but if you want to move into a whole house, you've got to grab a new processor. You have to purchase a new processor. Not for us. The hub that you start this system with can be the primary hub, up to 24 hubs. You communicate either by 4 IR outs, a front IR blaster, or by IP control. And you can piggyback 2 IR outputs per output, so you can use up to 8 IRs on this. It's very small, it's easy to hide, and like I said, you can hang it behind a TV, but we do have the ability to put it into a rack now. The MX HomePro app, there are some products out there that have apps, but like there's an entry-level product, but their app is black and white. It's not a beautiful color app like this. This app is free, whether it's Android or whether it's iOS. They're absolutely free. And remember that the primary thing is you can control your TV, your cable boxes, Blu-ray players, almost anything that can be controlled, IR or IP, can be controlled from this app. In addition, there's a rooms menu. So if you just push the settings button right there, whenever you click on the settings button, a rooms menu will drop down and allow you to move to any room in the house. That means that whenever you buy a hub, you're getting unlimited, free, whole house controllers for the system. Okay? In addition to that, we just discussed the app launcher. The app launcher is very, very cool, and it sets us apart from anyone out there in this under $1,000 market. In addition to that, it really puts us ahead of anyone else because no one really is able to do what we can do with this. So what you would do is you would actually just hit the little app launcher button, and when you do, the app launch bar drops down. Now you can put a lot of different apps on here because you can scroll on it. The homeowner can actually decide what he wants on here. He can decide. And remember this, once you pick that, and I always like doing a demo in person, but I'll open up like maybe one of the apps and just demo that whenever you want to go back and forth, there's just a back button. It's very, very simple. It's very, very easy to do. You just select and go to it. So the next thing that really sets us apart is the dealer account. Okay, our professional dealer's account allows dealers to manage all of their projects. You can create and program your projects there. It stores and manages all of your jobs and all of your associates being your programmers. You can manage all of that from a cloud-based server, including sub-accounts. You're able to program remotely after your initial programming is done there at the home. And you can create and save rooms and devices. For instance, if you like, whenever you do your cable device, for me, I always like having page up and page down being one of the primary buttons up at the top next to the screen. And I always like to have them in the same place. So you can design however you would like that device to be. You place your buttons, you put them where you want them, and once you have everything organized like you want it, you can save it. So the next time you go out to do an Xfinity cable box, not only can you grab it, but any of your employees that are using this site now, that's in the library for them. In addition, you can save a whole room. If like 75% of the time that you go out and do a project, you're doing an Xfinity cable box, a Denon receiver, and I don't know, a Sony TV. If that's what you're going to do, pretty much, you can actually save that whole room, do those devices the way you like them, and then the next time you go and do that setup, you just pull them in. All your devices are already done. All you have to do is build the macros now. It's very, very simple and very quick. When I went in to my home and hooked up the system in my house the very first time, I did a room that had 4 devices. I put in a Roku, and a Sonos. I did and a thermostat. And I did all of that, had it go up and running, had all the macros working perfect in about 15 minutes. It's amazing how quickly you can do this. Then in addition to that, whenever we sign you up for mxhomepro.com, we create a Z-Wave account for you. and we'll send you the password for that. You'll need this if you're going to add Z-Wave later. You just have to have the license, but it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. In addition to that, it doesn't cost the homeowner to get this off-site control of his system unless he wants to be able to control Z-Wave remotely. If he wants to control Z-Wave remotely, I think it's about $30 a year from the Z-Wave people. So, but if all he's doing is controlling his system without Z-Wave, it's free to him. All of this is free. So the system is designed for maximum efficiency. The MX HomePro editor is really cool. Like I said, it sets us apart from anyone else. It makes it very, very easy and efficient. It requires minimal programming knowledge. There's no special software needing. Because it's cloud-based, you can actually do all of your editing and do everything from your tablet. Because all you have to do is be able to get access to the web browser to be able to program once we get you set up. And then after you are set up as a dealer and you go in and you have to be there on site the first time you program, because you got to put in the IP addresses and just some basic things that you have to do to get set up. But once you do that, you can make any kind of changes. You can even completely start over again if you want to. Whatever you want to do or need to do with the project, and you can do it from your office. So this is what MX HomePro, what the site looks like, okay? So whenever you log in, you'll see all a list of your jobs there that you can select. And you just select, if you want to go back and work on one, you just select it and go to it. In addition to that, we have a virtual editor that you can actually go in before you go to the job, and you can, those templates that we were talking about building devices, you can actually sit down at your office and go ahead and put all those devices into your library if you like, or whenever you have time. Or if you're going out to a project, you can do all the devices first if you want to and have them ready to go. And in addition to that, we have File Explorer. And the File Explorer is where you save all of these devices and all of these rooms. Anything that you're saving is your library for your team. And this is just your way of importing and exporting those. So whenever you open up your editor to look at a project, you can actually go back and see, even if it's been a couple years ago, you can see that your program is still there. It's in the cloud. You can take a look at it and see exactly how you programmed everything. So think about this. Think about that maybe a homeowner gives you a call and he says, you know, you did my system a couple years ago. We told you we weren't going to have a Blu-ray player, that we're just going to stream movies, but we picked up a Blu-ray player at Best Buy yesterday. When can you come out and program it and put it in and install it for us? You as a dealer could actually pull up his system and you could say to the homeowner, you know, I'm looking at your system right now and I might be able to save you some money. As I'm looking at your system, I see that I left HDMI 4 open on your Yamaha receiver. And that hub there is in your system. I think it has a blaster on the front. It's in the rack. It may reach this. Why don't we see if we can save some money? So why don't you put that Blu-ray player into the rack, plug the HDMI up to HDMI 4 on the Yamaha, and just shut it up and have the power on. And if I can do this for you and save you some money, in maybe a couple of hours, you will see a play movie button show up on your remote magically. Now, I say a couple of hours because I want to be able to give a dealer the opportunity to charge what he wants to charge for this. But you could put that Blu-ray player in about 5 minutes, as long as the IR and everything is going to hit it. So it's just that simple to be able to do that. It keeps you from rolling trucks. It also gives you the ability to do things that your competitors can't do. Why not say, whenever I'm going to do one of these systems, in 30 days, I'm going to let you play with the system, everything, enjoy it, If there's some things that you don't like about your button layout or something that you want me to change on the programming, I'm going to give you one update that I'll do at free, no charge. And you can do that because you can do it from your desk. So these are the things that we've done to upgrade MX HomePro this year. We added the new R700 best-in-class flagship remote. We added the ability to control up to 8 rooms now with 3 hubs per room, so up to 24 hubs. I had a dealer recently did a sports bar, so kind of think out of the box with this system. He was competing up against a couple of other lines out there, and he was able to land the job. Because it can do up to 8 rooms with 3 hubs, he was able to label, you know, I think lanai, right wing, left wing. You know, you can name the rooms or the areas anything you want to. And the reason, what really made him competitive is they didn't have to buy any remotes. They just did hubs for this system, because every waitress or waiter in that building had a remote in their back pocket, their phone, and it's free. The MX HomePro app is a whole house controller. The editor, we've simplified and enhanced it to make it very, very simple to program. The hub can now be placed into a central rack, so you're able to maybe control a video switcher or whatever from the rack. Now you can add more than one remote to a room. And then what was really big, a feature that we didn't have that was really, really important, is now you can actually go out. If we don't have the IP strings or the hex codes in our database, you can actually go out to the web, to the site of that manufacturer, copy those codes or strings, and then paste them into the program. So there's literally nothing out there that we can't control, IP or with hex codes. If you can get them, we can control it. So remember this. The 3 big advantages to MX HomePro are this. We have state-of-the-art Wi-Fi remotes. No one that we compete with in this price range has anything like that. You can see cameras and album art on the screen. By the way, one of the things that we just added is Doorbird. So you can actually, we have a module for Doorbird. So you can think how cool that is that you can actually are sitting there watching TV, someone rings the doorbell, you can see who's at the door on your remote, and then you can actually, if you have Z-Wave locks, you can actually push a button and let the person in. The $300 retail, and then just a remote on top of that. It's unbelievable what we can do for the money. You add the app launcher and the ability to add native two-way apps right from the screen, right from our app, sets us apart. And then the MX HomePro professional dealer site, there's nothing else like it in the industry right now. So should make this very, very easy for you to sell and for you to upgrade your customers for. So just remember this. MX HomePro is absolutely the best smart home system under $1,000. We have $300, $600, and $750, all retail. Free unlimited apps, up to 8 rooms, and if you just simply add a Z-Wave and it's $250 retail, you're still under $1,000, and now you've added the ability to control another 2,000 Z-Wave devices. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to give you a chance to ask some questions, and then I'm going to show you a couple of these sites here once we have time. Does anybody have any questions right now? Silence there.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box. We'll make sure we get them read out for you and everything like that.
While we're doing that, I want to show you a couple of interesting things about Portal here. This is URC Portal is what you would sign up for to get all the resources that you need for training. And what I wanted to show you here is that once you get signed up for Portal, you come here to the training room and you come to Training Home. And then if you'll come down here, click on Self-Paced Tutorials and then go to MX HomePro. And then what you'll see here, what you'll see here is all of these self-paced. Now, all you have to do is you can click on these things and these classes and take these recorded webinars. They're not long. They're probably average anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. But think about this. You can actually slide down here, click on Programming MX HomePro. You can play, pause, program. Play, pause, program. We make it very, very simple for you to learn everything from virtual editor, how to create a now playing button, how to configure your Z-Wave, all the cool things that you're able to do here. These classes are available to you simply by being a dealer. Then I wanted to show you MX HomePro. This is what MX HomePro would look like when you go into register. So what you would do is, whenever you sign up for this, what you would do is you would come up here to the Help button, and right here it says Apply for a Dealer Account. And so that's what you have to do to become an MX HomePro dealer. Is you come in and you sign up here. It'll actually take you to our site. And you'll just go through and fill this out. It'll ask you, you would sign up as a buy from an authorized dealer. You put the name of your company in. You go step by step by step and fill it out. And at that point and submit it. And same thing, someone will actually look at your application at our office and they'll send you a temporary password to get you going. So I'm going to open this up just to kind of show you here. What it looks like. So this is the system at my house right here. But one of the things that I wanted to show you here is that when you come up here to help, I want you to look right here. Everything you need to be able to program is right here. We have a programming guide. We have, here's your owner's manuals, programming guide, installation manual, quick start. If you want to learn how to put two-way devices in, there's step-by-step here, a guide for you to do. So you can actually in fact, and they're all listed. So you could actually scroll through here. Let's see if I can reach it. So step by step. So whether you're looking at HEOS or if you're looking at Caseta, all the step-by-step instructions are right here in front of you for you to take. Same thing. You can program, pause, program, go back and forth. We make it very, very simple for you. If you want to see camera integration, all the different cool things that you can do, adding favorite channels, how to add Alexa is right there. How to get into demo mode if you forgot how to do that. But it's very, very simple. Whenever you want to go into a program, you just come in and click on the program, you select it, and had someone the other day notice that in this system I actually have a B&K. They were kind of impressed. I had something that was almost as old as my kids, but anyway, it's a great system. But if you'll take a look here, this is what it looks like. So I actually have access now, and I can change anything. It's very, very simple to do. You have a programming menu here where you add remotes to the room, entertainment devices. It's just a step-by-step, very, very easy thing to do where you can go in and put your macros and your devices in. So this is not a programming class today, but I wanted to kind of show you really how easy it is to put all this together and to be able to program. Now, also remember this, that we are going to have live webinars on Mondays starting probably next week. And so there'll be a 1-hour sales class similar to the one that I'm doing now, but there'll also be a 1-hour programming class that you can come in and sit through and have actually someone that works from URC. It'll probably be Hank or Hugh that works for URC, and they'll do an actual 1-hour programming class. But once again, because it's live, you can ask questions. We want to make this very, very easy to do for you. We've actually have situations, because it's in the cloud, we can actually go in and look at your program and help you out if you have any issues. It's very, very easy for us to do. So without going deeper into the programming here, that's really all I have for today, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you have out there.
Yeah, Bobby, there was actually a question in the chat. I don't know if you were able to see that. I can read it off to you.
Okay.
It says they have a client with the 700 remote. When he sets the remote down between commercials, there's a delay to reconnect when he picks the remote up. Then it jumps to the home page instead of the active source. Are there any thoughts on that?
Yes. Whenever I took this over a few months ago, we were hearing that for some reason that the remotes were dropping offline, and it took too long, and it was hard for them to find. And what we discovered is, in every case, it was because the remote was not put on a static IP address. So we recommend that anytime you're doing your devices in your home, put everything on a static IP address. What we've seen now is that pretty much in every case it solves that problem. So that's what I would do is I would take a look at making sure that, I mean, some people do a reserve DHCP, and that would probably be just fine. But, you know, what we, for best practices, we tell people static IP addresses. You want static IP outside the DHCP range. Any more questions? I can't see, let me see if I can see something here. Yeah, I don't see any, I can't see what the questions are being asked. So if there's anything else out there, let me know.
That was all that was in the chat for right now.
Did I do that good a job? No one has any questions? Everybody just believes everything I said? That's pretty cool. Now, one thing I want to let you guys know is that if you try this and you run into any issues, my email is very, very easy to remember, and so is Hugh Hart, who helps you also. So it's either Bobby or Hugh at universalremote.com. So I'll be happy to help anyone. We want to help you guys get through the first time you put these systems together. The most difficult thing about getting doing this programming is simply signing up and getting into the portal and then getting into mxhomepro.com. Once you get set up as a dealer and you understand how to do that, the rest of it is very, very simple and very, very easy. I mean, we did things like we changed using words like punch through, which of course everyone in our industry knows what that is. But we came up with a word that was kind of unique to use for that. We call it volume control now. So, but it just gives you an example of how we've tried to simplify things. We make it very, very easy for you to do that.
So someone actually just joined and missed a lot of it, which if you just joined, we're going to have this up on YouTube later. But he said, is this a URC remote system that works off an URC app on consumer's phone or devices, so the remote is actually the phone or device for the consumer?
Now, wait a minute. I don't think I understood the question. So what's the question?
So he said, is this a URC remote system that works off of a URC app on consumers' phones or devices, so the remote is actually the phone or device for the consumer?
Well, what this allows you to control the system with apps or remote. But yes, the homeowner would have an app on his phone to control it with. And he cannot get into the programming, but he can, he does have access to have control. Even, you know, I can cut on my system from 3,000 miles away. I do it all the time when I'm doing it in training. So, yeah, the homeowner not only can control it with this app, he can control it from anywhere. It's very, very simple to set up.
And like I said earlier, for anybody who missed any portion of it, we will have this up on YouTube later to watch again.
And we're available at any time. And I will tell you, we have a few minutes left here. If you know, I can give you a very simple, show you how to put a device in or something like that. If anybody would like to see a second of the programming, we've got a few minutes left on this hour. Or we can call it an end. What would you guys like me to do?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and do that, because you got a few extra minutes. I'm sure that.
Okay.
Guys
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click on here and say that I want to do another room. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to come over here to the programming menu, and I'm going to add an entertainment device. Okay. So what I would do right here is I would say, well, first I want to add a TV. So let's go with that, and enter the name. Let's call it, I don't know what you guys, probably should ask what you guys sell, but I'll just put Sony TV in here right now, and we'll go there. And then once I go there, I click next. And what you'll see is that I've got a lot going on my computer streaming now. But whenever I go to next, it'll say select the brand. So then I come down here. And, you know, you can just, actually what you can do, I can scroll down or I can just start typing, and it will actually, whoops. So we'll go down here. Click on Sony, click on Sony, go next. And then once you do that, you'll get all these code sets here, but I always just bypass that. And you can check here whether you want to control it network or you want to control it IR. And then, but what I would tell you to do is don't click search by model, go to search all models. Because what it'll do is once you go in and do that, and you'll see the little line going across here, but you can actually come down here and pick out, I'm not sure what the latest model is, but we'll just pick one out. And we say that's it, and we're going to control the IR. And of course, I have network control if I want to, but we'll go through there and then we'll add that TV. And so we're going to say that we're going to use, of course, we'd probably be controlling the IP, but I wanted to be able to show you what you would do with IR. So we're going to go ahead and assign IR port 1 to that. And if you were just going to use the blaster, you would click here. Okay, so now that we've added that, and we don't want to use favorite channels here because we're going to use the favorite channels on the cable box. So we'll put on do not use favorite channels on this device, and then we finish it. And you can see the little line working out there. All of this is going to the cloud. And once things are running a little slow because I'm streaming with you guys and streaming the cloud on the same computer here, so it would actually go faster. So now that we've added that, let's add another entertainment device, and this time we're going to add a cable box. And we'll click on that, and then the name of it will be, we'll call it Xfinity. I've done this before, so it's there. And then they'll say search from a list, and I can either type in the X or I can go down here and I can find it and click next. And once again, you see these code sets, don't pay attention to that. click on Search All Models. And I happen to know that the IR only with Xfinity works perfect every time, so I would suggest using that. And we're not going to test the codes, but you actually can test all the codes from right here live, okay? But speed things up, I'm just going to click on. And one thing is, I already have this in my system, so I know that everything's correct anyway. So at this point, I say I'm going to control it with IR port 2. And we are going to use favorite channels here, so I'm going to add that. And so then I'm going to let's add another entertainment device. We'll go ahead and add a receiver. And this time we shall add, let's see, let's just add a, we'll add a Denon. We might call it Denon receiver or whatever. And then select a brand, same thing. We got to find this. And I have, once again, you skip the codes. Generally, just so you'll know, generally the last codes are the latest. But you know, you don't want to be stuck with having to test all of them, especially if you can find the model. So, and if you see the little lines moving up here, it's working. The models come down. I'm not sure what the latest AVR is, but let's just go with, you've got your main. Always remember you use main, and if the question is, what do you do about zone 2? You put it in like it's a second receiver. So you would have 2 receivers in that room. You'd have zone 1 and zone 2. But we'll just pick one out. And then on this one, we would say that we're going to do IR3. And as I said, you're probably controlling a lot of this IP, but I'm just going through it pretty quick here. And then let's go ahead and add a 2-way device to the system. And so I want to add a Roku, and we'll just call it Roku. I already have a Roku in my house, so I'll put Roku 2 as the second one, so I would know it. And then at this point, we generally know the port, and you would put in the IP address of the Roku. So you'd have to put that in there. It'd be really easy to find. I'm sure you guys use Fing or something like that to do it with. So now we've added that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish with that. Now, I could add another device, but since we're a little short on time, I want to show you what we can do right here. So remember I talked about setup? Well, this is how you do volume control. So what you say here is I want everything in the system to be controlled by the Denon. And there, I just did your punch throughs. That's how easy it is to do the punch throughs. We just did that. Now, I'm going to go up to the, as soon as it finishes doing this, now I'm going to come up here to the advanced menu. This is where you do your macros, and I'm going to show you very simply here, and we're going to automate activities in the room. Well, the first thing that we want to do is we want to do an all-off for the room. So I'll click on Turn Off All Devices in this room. And so what I would do is very, very simple. I'd go to the Sony TV. I would look for Power Off, and I would add it. Then I would look for the Xfinity. We know it doesn't have a discrete command, but I'm going to go ahead and add that in here. And then we'll add Denon, and then we'll look for the Power Off, and we'll add that. And that's everything, because as we know, the Roku's running all the time. So we don't really need to add a delay or anything because we're just doing an all-off. It's that simple, okay? We just did an all-off for the room. Now, we do have the ability, if you wanted to add a help button so that whenever you hit it, you know, that's what one of our competitors do, so that if the macros don't work properly, which they don't a lot of time with their product, you can actually have a help screen pop up that allows the homeowner to cut off the device or whatever. Most of our dealers don't use that. If you want to disable the screen, you can, but we finished that activity. So we finished that one. So now let's automate another thing. Let's build an automated activity when you select a device in this room. Okay, So whenever we decide we want to watch cable, what do we want to happen? Well, the first thing we want is we want the TV to power on. So we add that. We also are going to want the Sony TV to go to, let's just say HDMI 2. We'll just pick one. And we also, now, so what we want to happen is we want the Xfinity to come on. We want to add that. And then we want the Denon receiver to power on. We add that. And we also want that Denon receiver to go to cable, cable satellite. So we want to add that. So now this is all the things you want to happen, but remember, we want to add a delay. So because you've got to allow all of your devices to come on, and you have to give it a little time before you actually push the input buttons. So I would say add a delay, maybe 3 seconds or whatever. You'll have to sit down and decide how long you need. But here you are, there's your delay. So now everything's out of order. So you see these 3 little lines right here. We'll just take the all powers and we'll slide all the power up. And then we want the delay afterwards. And bam, I just did the macro. It's done. That room will work now. You've got all your afro. You have everything there that you want to do. So then you go next. It'll ask you if you want to be able to use the help button or not. I'm just going to disable. But as you can see, you can even decide what buttons pop up on the help button if you want to use that feature. You finish that automated activity, and then now it just kind of gives you your list. You got all your different buttons right here. You can decide if you want to edit something. It lets you see what you can edit here. You can move buttons around. Don't have a lot of time to get into that, but it's very, very easy to move your buttons around and to do different things to lay out your devices. And you can add a room from here. You can edit the menu. You can move things around. You can edit your device layout and functions. And this is where you do that. So if you want to lay out your Xfinity, it'll actually show you what the pages look like. And you can actually move your buttons around from here. You can add new buttons. There's a lot of cool things you can do, but it's all very, very simple, and it's all done here right from the cloud. Let me see. Let me go back. Right here, if I wanted to put the Roku in, then we just go through and do the same thing we did before with the Roku. Because we know that once we launch the Roku module, and I will tell you, we recommend our Roku module works fantastic. So I always recommend that if you for controlling. It works great. It even has buttons on our module where you can go directly to Netflix or whatever. So it's really a cool module. You should check that out. Our Sonos module really works great on our remotes, and the new HEOS module works fantastic. So all of these things are opportunities you should take a look at, but it's very, very simple. Once you've done your programming, all you do is you come over here and you click download, and it will download to that hub in less than 5 seconds, and which is pretty amazing. It takes a little bit longer because once the hub gets that, then it goes out and finds the remotes that are out on the system and the other hubs, and it will actually send the program out to them. So it'll take a couple of minutes for your buttons to all line up and do everything you want it to do. But it's very, very simple to do. So, and that's it, really. It's very, very simple. Everything's done from right here. I can open up my... So anyway, whenever I hit on view, it shows my house. It shows the different rooms right here.
Taken care of before I left work. My knee.
And that's it. Any other questions?
Yep. Therapy or whatever. Yep. I think I need surgery.
Any other questions?
I think everybody's good. Thank you very much.
All right, great, guys. Good luck with it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to help you out, okay? Thanks a lot.
Yep. Thank you very much.